So hello fellow Toastmasters and guests. A very good afternoon to everyone and welcome to the 590th meeting of Medley Toastmasters Club. I am Abhimanyu and I am Sergeant at Arms for Medley Toastmasters Club. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member gets an opportunity to improve communication and leadership skills, which in turn boosts self-confidence and personal growth. In every Toastmasters meeting, we follow three ground rules. Rule number one, that is, please maintain silence throughout the meeting. And if you are not talking, kindly put yourself on mute. And since it's an online meeting, kindly turn off the video when moving. Rule number second, please avoid taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. And last, rule number three, please try to join the meeting in a formal attire. With this, over to the presiding officer, DTM Thomas Abraham, sir, who is a former senior vice president, corporate communication with the Hinduja Group. Thomas combined words, voice, photography, and design, a proud Medallian since January 2015. With this, over to you, Thomas Abraham. DTM Thomas Abraham, sir.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Abhimanyu. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Great pleasure to declare open Medley meeting number 790 with the imaginary sound of this imaginary gathering. You have heard, and there are a lot of new Toastmasters in our midst, when we say where leaders are made. It's a slogan, as it were. It's a spirit of Toastmasters. But have you wondered how that gets rectified? Have you wondered how that gets actualized? One answer all of you know. When you take on roles at meetings, when you observe competent Toastmasters, when you do a good job, you can contribute to creating good meetings, impressive meetings, and that will boost your confidence. And that is part of the Toastmaster journey. The Toastmaster journey is essentially about boosting confidence. How do you boost confidence? It's very much like small children. When we do a good job, when we get an applause, we feel good about ourselves. But the crucial thing is to do a good job. Anything that we do, let us try and do the best that we can. It can be what I'm doing now. Any role, if we can be the best, that's the way to go forward. Secondly, leadership is a role to be performed. It is nothing to be ashamed of. Do a good job. Don't feel bad if the arc lights fall on you. That's part of leadership. So that you don't have to squirm about it. It's part of the role. So when you get a role, play it till the hilt. Now specifically, I want to tell you about a few opportunities. One, meeting roles I told you. Secondly, because of this lockdown times, we are not into full-fledged activities as Toastmasters, but there are opportunities at area level, at division level, at district level, in contests and in other events. So therefore, if you think you are good, please do self-nominate yourself, because we don't have a slate for nomination, right? In fact, in the past, many people have done that, and then in no time they have come up to take on roles. So that's one. One is meeting roles. Second is outside roles. Third is, you probably are aware that Toastmaster Pranav, did an impeccable job. I repeat, impeccable job conducting our contest not so long ago. No blemish. It's not a small joke. Those of you who are part of that would have learned a lifetime lesson. That's the kind of role we need. Now, Toastmaster Ramesh is leading another initiative. Our 600th meeting. It's not given to every Toastmaster. That meeting, we need to do it well. Toastmaster Ramesh has taken on the responsibility of spearheading that activity. He needs support. Last time we had a wonderful time doing 575. Young Toastmasters included. We pulled it off. 600 is even bigger. So any volunteers, this is the time to speak up on your own behalf. I also want to add two more things so that you're aware of this. I know it's all there in Toastmasters. Toastmasters is encyclopedic, but I don't know whether all of us get to read everything. Therefore, allow me to just add two more things. There is something called Speechcraft. Speechcraft is a miniature of Toastmasters that is conducted typically in corporates. Currently, Toastmaster Ramesh and Toastmaster Shankar, they are spearheading one such thing in Fidelity. Some good money comes our way, by the way. So that's something you must look forward to. And if you do that, that's one of the criterion that you require, one of the boxes you need to tick on your journey to becoming a DTM. You also have something called youth leadership, which is for boys and girls below the age of 18, but something somewhat similar. Therefore, be aware, ask your mentor, ask me if I can be of any of us. So that is the thought I want to leave you with. And quickly, I want to ask if there is any guest that we can have a chat with. Any guests we have today?
I see only Tejas, who is not.
All right. In which case, let me move forward and hand over to today's special Toastmaster of the Day. Special Toastmaster of the Day because Toastmasters is all about volunteering. Exactly what I told you about. But here is a special person, whether online meeting or offline meeting, you cannot put him down. Anything that Medley has to do in terms of activities, Toastmaster Renga is there. Besides being the secretary and therefore the fulcrum of the entire movement of the XCOM, Renga is a special person. I think you know him well enough. His facets you know more than I do. So I don't want to give any particular facet about him. He is a much sought after, ever ready to help kind of a person, a gem of a Toastmaster, and my good friend. Over to Toastmaster of the Day, Renga.
Thank you, President DTM Thomas Abraham, for your introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to Medley Toastmasters Club. Today, the theme of the day is the only way to live, for which I have to take you through a PowerPoint presentation. Just bear with me for a couple of seconds before I set it up. Can you see my screen?
It's loading.
Hello.
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Okay. So this is okay. We are through this. There are about 7 billion people in this world, and each one of them, they have a different way to lead their lives. So the question that I posed as the theme of the day, I'm sure I've sent many people thinking, what exactly does this guy mean? Is there only one way to live? As we see here, there are a multitude of reasons and ways in which we can live. But one of the things that fascinated me as I was just reading a few news items over the past few days was this. Do you feel that these are some of the reasons, whether you want to be happy, wealthy, healthy, compassionate, spiritual, or passionate? Leaving this aside, there was one billionaire who chose a different approach. No, it's not any of the gentlemen whom we see here, although they are known for their charity. He is probably the most secretive billionaire in this world. And you know how much he was worth? $8 billion. That's not a small amount, isn't it? It's huge. And how did he amass his wealth? He started off something called duty-free shoppers. And this was way back in 1960, where what he used to do was, he just used to get spirits and basically drinks at a cheaper cost and then distribute it to the people in the army, either in Guam, essentially the US-based army. And he established it in 1960, and he started it in 11 major airports and 20 different Galleria stores around the world. The ones that we see here, one is in Hong Kong, the other is in Dakar. And this fueled a lot of money to his kitty. And what did he do with it? Over the last 30 years, he has given away $7.5 billion. You heard that right, 7.5 billion, almost his entire net worth. 1 billion to Cornell University, his alma mater, 290 million for a new medical campus at University of California at San Francisco, 350 million to overall Vietnam healthcare, and 350 million to create a new technology park in Roosevelt Island, which was basically housing a few jails. He always traveled economy class. We reached the same destination at the same time, whether we travel business or economy. He also wore an old Casio watch. I don't know whether the company is still in existence, whether it's a Rolex or Casio. It shows the same time, whereas classic replies. With that, I will go back to the role for today. For the benefit of guests, I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. The meeting is divided into 3 sessions. The first is the prepared speech, where members will be delivering speeches based on projects and paths that have already been chosen. The second part is the table topic session, in which guests and members will be called upon at random to speak for a minute or 2. And the third session is the evaluations, where the prepared speeches are evaluated by the general evaluators team. Moving on, today's general evaluator, Rohit Madappa, dons the mantle of GE. He is a warm and genial person. Rohit's admiration for Chennai hasn't diminished one bit after he came to Chennai to study. He's very happy that he is back in Chennai to work. As regards the theme of the day, he said there is no just one way to live. And each
Ranga, you're on mute.
Sir, mute. Sir, you're on mute, sir.
is it unmuted now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what happened. Can you hear me? There's some background noise. Oh, okay. So moving on to Rohit, he's happy that he's back in Chennai to work.
Sir, again mute, sir. Sir, again mute. Yes,
I
sir.
don't know what's happening. I think there's some background noise, and the administrator is probably it's my sound. It isn't.
Yeah, I'm trying to mute. Sorry for disturbance.
Okay, no problem. So Rohit says that everyone has the freedom to live as they want, as long as they follow the rules, the laws of the land. Over to the G.
Thank you, Modi, for the warm welcome and introduction. Very good afternoon to fellow Toastmasters and guests.
So I'll be playing the role of the general evaluator for today's meeting. And for the benefit of the guests and members,
My role is divided into 3 parts as a general evaluator. One of them is
number one is
to introduce the evaluators for the prepared speeches. 2 is to call upon the tag team, that is the timer, counter, and examiner for the respective reports. and finally I shall give my overall evaluation of the proceedings of the meeting.
So, going on to the tag team. So, I have a tag team of three role players who would be playing the role of the timer, our counter, and the grammarian. Number one, let us go on to the timer, who is Toastmaster Sampath, who joined us recently, and he's playing the role of a timer. He's a native of Chidambaram in Tamil Nadu and currently working in Singapore. He is an industrial automation engineer employed with a water technology firm in Singapore. When I asked him what excites him the most in life, he says he enjoys spending time with his family, loves listening to motivational speeches, and his recent excitement is attending Medley's meeting. So, Toastmaster Sampath, can you please read out the objectives of the timer?
Thank you, General Evaluator, for your warm welcoming. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, today's theme, Toastmaster Ranga already explained, the only way to live. You should follow whatever he explained. But the only way to alive in this meeting, you should follow me because I'm a timer today. Okay, so let me move on to the topic. So there are different categories, prepared speakers. Three different types of speakers today. Speaker one, Toastmaster Ramesh, please take note, 4 to 6 minutes. At the completion of 4 minutes, green color background. Completion of 5 minutes, yellow color background. Completion of 6 minutes, red color background. The second set of speakers, Toastmaster Pavitra and Toastmaster Sankar, 5 to 7 minutes. Completion of 5 minutes, green color. Completion of 6 minutes, yellow color. 7 minutes, red color. So more than that, 7.30 seconds, you know what will happen. So the third set of speakers, TM Saravanan, 15 to 20 minutes. Completion of 15 minutes, green color. 17.30 yellow color, 20 minutes green color, sorry, red color. Then I'll move on to the table topic speakers, 1 to 2 minutes time limit. Completion of 1 minute, green color, 1.30 seconds, yellow color. Completion of 2 minutes, red color. Beyond 2.30 seconds, will be disqualified. For the evaluation speeches, all the evaluation speeches will be the same, 2 to 3 minutes time limit. Completion of 2 minutes, green color. Completion of 2.30, yellow color. Completion of 3 minutes, red color. So that's all. And then I request all the speakers and evaluators, please bring my video while you are speaking, so that you can see my background will change accordingly, 5 minutes and 6 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever the time durations. And you should bear with me my face, because I cannot say to back my face. Still, my face also will be visible. Please. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sampath. Next, we'll move on to the role player who would be playing Sharanya. Toastmaster Sharanya will be playing the counter's role. Toastmaster Sharanya, she is a very energetic member in the club. I'm also I'm also on the XCOM team as well. She always has a way of finding solutions to any problems. So she has been here with us for quite well. And to introduce her, Toastmaster Sharanya is from Pondicherry, a native of Pondicherry, and she is a software engineer working with Fidelity Investments. When I asked her what excites her and what drives her the most, she says every day is an excitement as it brings new challenges that gives an opportunity to find solutions to overcome those challenges. No wonder we always I think I've been unmuted.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've been muted. So anyways, I've been unmuted. Okay, so no wonder Shania always finds a solution to any problem in Medley, and most of the things are run so seamlessly whenever she's around. So Toastmaster Shania, can you please explain the objectives
Thank you,
of
Rohit.
the counter?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Rohit. So, good evening, Toastmasters
Hello.
and guests. Is my voice audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Audible. Yeah.
The purpose of the counter is to note the words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds including and I will also note when the speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means, this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Toastmasters. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharanya. Now move into our next role player, that is the grammarian. Today's grammarian is played by Toastmaster Shruti Prakash. She's also a very new member to Medleys. And moreover, she is playing the role, she's taking up a role for the first time since she joined Medleys. She's a native of Chennai itself and pursuing her education as a chemical engineer in SSN College of Engineering. When I asked what excites her most, she said the thrill she derives from following her passions of reading and learning new skills. That is very interesting. Over to you, Toastmaster Shruti. Can you please read out the objectives of the grammarian?
As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listen carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is chafe, which means to make or become damaged or sore by rubbing, or to warm a part of the body by rubbing, to be or become annoyed or lose patience. An example of using this word is the bracelet was so tight that it started to chafe my wrist. We have been chafing under petty regulations for too long. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the usage of the word of the day. Thank you, Toastmasters. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. So, tag players, I'll call you over to provide your report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator Rohit.
Toastmaster of the day. Yeah.
Our first speaker is new TM Ramesh Rajendran. He's a CA aspirant and a sports enthusiast. He loves the sip of tea. With respect to the theme of the day, he wants to grab every opportunity that life throws at him, gain experience, and reach greater heights in his career. I call upon his evaluator, TM Vijayarajan, to give project details of TM Ramesh's project.
Thank you, TM Modi. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you. Thank you. The purpose of the speech is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structures of a public speech, since it's an icebreaker speech. So all the best to Toastmaster, and the speech length is 4 to 6 minutes. Over to TM Modi.
Thank you, TM Vijayarajan. TM Ramesh, the meaning of FAIL. The meaning of FAIL, TM Ramesh. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to start a quote from APJ Abdul Kalam. Don't read success stories. You will get only messages. Read failure stories. You'll get some idea to succeed. Good afternoon to Toastmasters and guests. A very good day to you all. I am Ramesh Rajendran, pursuing Chartered Accountant's final course along with my articleship and BCom in Chennai. My parents are financial consultant in LIC, and I have a sister who's currently studying 8th standard. I would like to break 4 different phases of my life journey. Phase 1, childhood. I was born and raised in a small island nation in Arab called Bahrain in 20th June 1999. I was enthusiastic about cricket and football, and I was so carefree till 8th standard. Fast forwarding to my phase 2, secondary school. Now, before that, how many of you believe hostel may change a man? Thank you. Well, my parents thought my low scores can be cured by boarding school in SRM Public School, Torrio, Trichy. Hostel life was memorable. We used to wake up early 5 a.m. Not for classes, not for study session, but for playing cricket. We used to fight for washroom use to get up at 7 a.m. study session as warden puts heater for only 1 hour. As only the first 3 out of 6 friends in the room will get the hot water. We have a funny rule in the school saying like no girls and boys should talk to each other. Once I broke up the rule and ended up writing 25 times imposition for the same. Our class teacher, Brindavan sir, was a friend, family, guru, role model to all of us. He was very supportive in our studies. But there was a cycle test, which most of them failed to appear. Then, one of the students gave a false excuse citing temple occasions. He has assembled all of us by the next day, and he warned us by saying, at least spare God while you're lying, man. This incident taught us good principles in us. I had an opportunity of excelling myself in contests like oratory, model election, essays, etc. for my house, and I have received many awards and appreciations. But however, on a school day, I failed in 400-meter race running. Encouragement from my class teacher who was doing commentary, which motivated me to complete the race. Now, fast forwarding to my phase 3, that is my high school. After that, I joined high school back to my old school back in Bahrain. I chose commerce over science as science is very not easy for me to do. So I got admission as to my surprise because I got good grades in 10th standard. From that moment onwards, I had the interest in studies and I did very well in +1. But I had some slips and procrastination for which it costed me good grades in 12th. On the verge of completion of my school life, I decided to do CA because it was a hyped up professional course. Now fast forwarding to phase 4, my higher studies. Then I joined in Chennai. First, I was truly excited, and it's going to be very different from my Trichy hostel life because I'm getting some liberty, man. I first finished CPT in CA, but when I was doing intern, I was chaffed because I took attempts. And my goodness, I don't know. A CA is a marathon where some went ahead, some lagged, and some jumped to another professional course. The setbacks which took back to the 400-meter race, which I finished thanks to my teachers' encouragement, the determination to complete the race on time boosted my perseverance. According to me, risk takers are fortune makers, for which I took the risk and I never gave up. Now I completed intern and I'm one step closer of being CA. I had a tremendous interest in public speaking from my schooling onwards, for which I chose Toastmasters to be a best version of myself by proving my intellect and my experience in this area. I would conclude my speech by this quote. If you fail, fail doesn't mean because fail means first attempt in learning. The end is not the end, if in fact end means effort never dies. And if you get no as an answer, remember, no means next opportunity. So thank you guys for giving me this wonderful opportunity, and over to you, T.M. Modi.
Thank you so much, T.M. Ramesh. That was an exciting speech.
Thanks, sir.
Our second speaker is T.M. Pavitra, a vivacious girl who loves sports. She is a HR professional and describes herself as a quick learner. As regards the theme of the day, she opines that the only way to live is to be kind, not just to fellow humans, but to also to other living beings as well as nature. I call upon her evaluator, T.M. Pranav, to give details of her speech.
Hello, good afternoon all. So Toastmaster Pavitra is attempting her second speech of a pathway in the evaluation and feedback. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic and apply the feedback of her previous speech to the current speech and to demonstrate that she has done the same. Thank you, and over to you, T. Modi.
Okay, thank you. Team Pavitra, after life or life after? After life or life after? Team Pavitra.
How many of you have faced tragedy or grief in your life and thought to yourself, why me of all the people in this world? Can I have a thumbs up or a yes on the chat box, those of you who've thought that way? Okay, good. So I don't feel alone in this world then. So for those of you who said yes or a thumbs up, I see a majority of thumbs up, so I don't feel alone at all now. So for those of you who said yes or a thumbs up, right? This story that I'm going to tell you will put a gentle smile on your face. And for those of you who didn't, this story will probably tell you how to empathize with someone who is probably grieving in their life. Good afternoon, Medlians and guests. To say Tony was down the dumps is an understatement. He says whatever he wants and does whatever he feels like. He is chafed at everything in life and barks at his colleagues in office. He drinks alcohol every night to numb his pain. This was not always the case a year ago. He had all that a journalist could dream of. Dressed in loose t-shirt and trousers, Tony made up with his words. He was a pillar of Tambury Gazette with his investigative pieces. He had an almost perfect life with his wife Lisa. They had a loving furry German Shepherd dog called Brandy. Lisa and Tony loved pulling each other's legs, drinking alcohol at night, watching movies, and dancing away to glory at cocktail parties. But what happened after that remains a blur. One medical test and a few checkups, Lisa is diagnosed with breast cancer. Tony tries to spend every minute possible with Lisa at the hospital. After a few months, Lisa passes away. Tony is broken. He couldn't imagine life without Lisa. One day, Matt tells Tony, who is his brother-in-law, Tony, I understand different people grieve differently. However, if you don't make an effort, you will never become happier. To this, Tony retorts and says, Matt, you know what will make me happy? It's Lisa being around, and that can never happen. Tony watches videos that Lisa had made for him as she lay in the hospital. This was a guide to Tony for his life after she's gone. In this video, she constantly reminds Tony to move on in life and to not forget to feed the dog Brandy. A man who loves his wife the most, her words slowly start to have an impact on Tony. He shows another side of his persona, a friendly co-worker, a loving son, and a good neighbor. His friends and family also start to help him to get better in life. Tony starts to open up to new people. He meets this lady called Anne at the graveyard who tells Tony, you know what, Tony, we're not here in this world just for us. We're here for others as well. This hits Tony really hard, and he realizes that he could do the smallest of things to make his corner of the world a slightly better place. He decides to help people who had helped him to get better when he was feeling sad. He also meets this nurse called Gabriella at his dad's old age home. He starts to date her and starts to fall in love with her. When things start to get slightly better for Tony, his dad passes away. Tony is broken. He is devastated. He loses the reason to live. One night, while Tony is drinking alcohol, he loses it and he tries to kill himself by having sleeping pills. At this same time, the dog Brandy barks and comes from the other room, rushing and is almost in tears, trying to tell Tony, Tony, please don't leave me alone in this world. And at the same time, the doorbell rings. And when he peeks through the glass door, he sees Gabriella, the nurse whom he fell in love with, waiting on the other side of the door. He chooses life over death and decides that there is a beautiful side of life that's waiting for him. This is a beautiful story about grief, loss, optimism, and healing. And this has impacted my life a lot. Being a person who's gone through personal life early in my life, I've come to terms with the fact that suffering is natural. Everyone goes through pain at some point in their life. But the beauty of life lies in itself. I've also learned how the art of giving is amazing and how happiness is beautiful, whether it's yours or not. So the next time when you ask yourself, why me, when you're faced with a question, when you're faced with grief or tragedy, right? Tell yourself that the first step to grief is denial. But one day, definitely one day, life will get better and you will feel less pain. Gratitude will replace grief. Remember, everybody, when life takes a turn, be strong. Hope is everything. Everyone goes through difficult situations. It's not always their fault. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
A well-crafted and wonderful story. Thank you. Next, before we start off, T.M. Shankar, Toastmaster Shankar.
Yeah, Ranga.
Can we do an audio and video check for you, please?
Yeah. Video and audio check.
Okay, we can hear you fine. So our third speaker, T.M. Shankar, a banking professional working in one of the largest banks in the world. His thoughts on the theme of the day is that there are so many good things to live for. For him, personally, it's helping others. That's the only way to live. He has started an NGO that provides education to the underprivileged children, and noble service indeed. And I call upon DTM Sunil Jose to read about T.M. Shankar to give details about his project. DTM Sunil?
I think it's changed.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of it.
I'm his evaluator, Ranga.
Could you go ahead? Could you go ahead, please?
Yeah. Toastmaster Shankar is attempting his project in Dynamic Leadership Level 3. His project purpose statement tells that project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is actually a story. And the speech timing is 5 to 7 minutes as mentioned in the agenda. Over to you. All the best, Toastmaster Shankar. Over to you, TMOD.
Okay. T.M. Shankar, my nightmare in cricket. My nightmare in cricket, T.M. Shankar.
How many of you are familiar with gully cricket? Thank you. You know the game that most children, students, and adults play, especially on Sunday or public holiday when the streets or roads are empty, sometimes on Bandh or major protesting days. The people are busy on protesting, but you will find the boys playing on the gully cricket. Well, during my young age, I was considered the hero in my gully cricket. I was good at cricket. In fact, I was an all-rounder. Many teams wanted me to play for that particular area. But something that happened. it was a nightmare for me. Fellow Toastmaster and honorable guest, good afternoon. Today, I would like to take you to those days where I was considered as a Sachin Tendulkar in my gully cricket. I love cricket. In fact, I even thought of making the career in cricket. Things don't go as we want. So one day in particular, it was a nightmare for me. That is 13th December 2005. The worst day in my life. Why you ask? Let me tell you. I was part of Ayanavaram Cricket Club, and we had one of the strongest team in that area. And our team used to beat all of the teams, many tournaments, and won the many matches. Our club is full of trophies, medal, and including the cash prize. We were considered as one of the strongest team in that area, and we were unbeatable in that particular area. Then one day, a special tournament came to our area with a cash prize of 1 lakh rupees. You might be wondering, 1 lakh rupees is nothing today. But this was how many years ago? There was so much of excitement with our team, and we wanted to grab it. We did a vigorous preliminary matches, and we cleared all the league matches, and we reached into the final. In the final, we won the toss and elected to bowl. I bowled first over and third over and just gave 8 runs plus 1 wicket. Me, being young at the time, I was so confident, and the people are appreciating me, cheered me, anything. And I thought I was considered unbeatable for the day. It was a 10-over match. When it came to 9th over, my captain didn't give the over to me to bowl. I was wondering why. Then I persuaded our captain to give the ball. He reluctantly gave the ball. I went very happily to bowl the 9th over. When I bowled the first ball of the 9th over, it went for 6. I was left standing. What was happening? Our captain running after me is like a Toastmaster Ramprasad or medley past president, very cool and calm. Don't worry, Shankar, don't worry, Shankar. Forget about the ball. Start fresh. Again, I bowled the ball. This time it went out of the ground. People could not find where the ball it is. I was totally lost in anything. And I was beginning to doubt myself. Again, our cool captain came first. Never mind, Shankar, never mind, don't worry. You just bowl 2 balls. You have 4 more balls to bowl. Again, they hit a 6. I was literally lost. At the time, I was thinking that probably my captain was right not to give the 9th over. By the time when I saw my captain, he was a little bit shaky. Then I bowled the 4th ball. He hit a wide, but it got caught. I was flabbergasted. More than that, my team dances like anything. It was like a Premji movement from the movie Chennai 28. Suddenly, the umpire signaled it was the no ball as I overstepped the line. Can you imagine what my state was at the time? 4 balls, all are sixes, 1 wicket, that too no ball. Do you know how many runs I gave in the 9th over alone? It was 39 runs. We lost the game, and I was a laughing stock for my whole team. They never stopped me teasing like anything. Most importantly, I felt I let him down. I let my overconfidence to take place in the place of my gain and success. And I completely stopped playing after that. I was so humiliated, and I never touched the ball again. Till recently, in my office, they had the cricket match, and they asked me to play as well. I was a little apprehensive to play or not. Then I decided, okay, let me try. But when I about to bowl, my hand would not move. I was not able to rise and throw the ball. Then I realized the old scars of mine came fresh into my memory. That remember the story of temple elephant. They are trained from young, being tied with a small rope, which are not very strong. They know that they cannot move further behind the length of the rope. As the day grows, when it becomes adult elephant, even those elephants are mentally bound with the small ropes. Even if you cut the rope, they cannot go behind the perimeter and still stay on the place. Similarly, I had taken, the humiliation was completely taken, permanently taken in my place. Unfortunately, I had not allowed to overcome it. Hopefully, I am trying to level my best to focus on the area. Let's see how it has happened in the future year. Over to TMOD.
TM Shankar, this episode of yours has shaped you a lot. I am sure that you'll overcome. That was a wonderful speech. Our final speaker is TM Saravanan. He's a native of Coimbatore, living in Adia for a decade and a half. He's an IT professional working for a leading automobile company. About the theme, he says that being passionate about something is what drives us forward. I call upon his evaluator, TM Dinesh, to give the details of TM Saravanan's project.
Thank you, TMOD. Toastmasters Saravanan path is innovative planning. He's in level 4 and the name of his project is question and answer session. His title is Be Prepared. Timer, please note the time is 15 to 20 minutes. The purpose of his speech is to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question and answer session. The member is responsible for managing time so there is adequate opportunity for both. All the best, Toastmaster Saravanan, and over to you, TMOD.
Thank you. TM Saravanan, be prepared. Be prepared, TM Saravanan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravi. Let me share my presentation. Let me know whether you are able to see that.
Yes, visible, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. How many of you are salaried employees? Good. Many of you are salaried employees. And out of the 1.7 billion that Toastmaster Ranga mentioned in his first slide, I can see many of you sitting here. The simple or the only way to live life is being prepared. And that is what we are going to discuss in today's session. This is 15 to 20 minutes, but this will give you a lot of life lessons. So please listen carefully. This is not only a project, not only a Q&A session, but these are all live sessions. So please be attentive. And I'm sure at the end of this 20 minutes, you will learn something. And I guarantee you for that. And what is the biggest challenge in being a salaried employee? Just unmute yourself and tell.
How to go to the job regularly.
Yeah, that is one thing.
There is no freedom of thought.
Right.
Always.
Good. So there are a lot of answers to this question, but what is the biggest challenge here is job loss. Because we are living paycheck to paycheck. And if we don't get the paycheck for the next month, what will happen? Just see this. This is the statistics that was provided because of this coronavirus-led lockdown. You can see the various sectors out here and how many jobs have been lost because of coronavirus. Nearly 11 million jobs have been lost in India itself because of this lockdown. And there are many news that are coming up on people losing their livelihood, their jobs. And this is not only impacting them, but also impacting their dependents, their families, their neighbors. Everybody is getting impacted because of this. And in the next few slides, we will talk about how to overcome this, how to ensure that you are well prepared financially to handle these kind of situations. Let us go to the next slide. So you can see here in college graduates, are you able to see this fully?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. The college graduates spend nearly 16 years. And what they do here is they learn about how to get higher salary, get promotion. But what they don't do in college is teaching them on how to save or invest and grow their money. This was told by the National Financial Educator Council, who is the CEO for that, and he talked about that, and it is being talked about by many financial advisors. So I'm going to talk about those in the next few slides. First of all, personal finance basics. So let us open this session. What are the various basic things that are needed from a personal finance perspective? There are no right or wrong answers, but I have the answers. But let us open it up. What are the things?
How
One.
to manage your money.
Excellent.
Commitment.
Good.
Our EMI should be within limits.
Very good.
Spend as required only.
Right.
Live simply. Try to be minimalist.
Very good. Very good points. Now let us see like what are the things that are needed from a personal finance basics. These are all life lessons which I have learned a very hard way for the past 20 plus years. So I mean I have gone through many of these stuff. So that's the reason I'm just giving this. That is the credibility which you get because of this. Okay. First one is emergency fund. What is emergency fund?
To save money when you face an emergency. It could be anything, health, any emergency, right? Or loss of job or anything.
Nice. That's the first and the foremost thing that you have to have. Second thing, life insurance. Third thing, health insurance. Fourth, goal-based investing. Nobody talked about this. Do you have any idea about this goal-based investing?
It is a visions of investments.
Very good.
Yes, it's a task-based investment. Like for example, our children's studies or children's higher studies or whatever it could be. It's a already saying it's a goal-based investing.
Very good. Very good. Asset allocation. What are the various assets we have?
Land, building.
Bike, car, everything.
Movable and unmovable assets.
Movable, non-movable.
Very good. All bookish answers. We will see about that. Okay. Debt free. So Dinesh mentioned about being EMI free, right? I mean, you should be able to pay your EMI and all. Debt free is also one of the important things. So you should be debt free at some point of your time, some point of your life. Let us see at what point of your life you should be debt free. This is the most important thing, net worth. We talked about liabilities, we talked about assets and all, but what is more important is your net worth. Net worth is nothing but your assets minus your liabilities. So if you have a lot of debt, even if you have 5 crore also, if you have 7 crore of debt, that means your net worth is in minus. So you should have always a positive net worth in your bank balance and everything. Okay, so we talked about emergency fund, right? So what is that emergency fund we talked about? Okay, where do you keep your emergency fund?
Bank, saving, or mutual fund.
Nice.
It should be liquidity. It should not be
very good. Very good point.
Should be very easy to take.
Correct. Nice. Liquid is a very good point. Okay. So let us see. So you have to have at least minimum of 12 months of expenses. Why to have something like 6 months of expenses or 12 months of expenses as such? Anybody have any idea?
If something happens, we should have liquid money to handle the abnormalities.
Exactly.
For the emergency, we should not depend on somebody for the emergencies because it's not emergency.
Nice.
Hurdleless living. Hurdleless living. Sorry.
to fulfill our basic necessity.
Unexpected situation handled.
Exactly. Yeah, all are very good points. So we should have a minimum number of expense that is in our bank balance or cash or somewhere else. So what is the expense here?
Food, basic
Basic necessities.
basic necessities.
Regular
Food,
expenses.
shelter,
Exactly.
Day-to-day requirements.
Day-to-day activities.
Livelihood.
Yeah, livelihood, day-to-day expenses, everything. So whatever it is, your school fees or like, your rent or EMI, and then your food expenses, grocery expenses, everything put together, you should have a budget for that. And that budget, if it is 50,000 or 1 lakh per month, you should have 12 lakhs assigned for emergency expenses. That can be tapped in case of any emergency like your job loss or something like, a medical expense or anything like that. You should have something that is protected over there. Okay. Cash, it is because of liquidity, you should have something in your cash. Maybe a 10% or something you should keep in your cash. And then the rest of the things in savings bank or fixed deposit or sweep-in account. What is sweep-in account?
Like I guess you can take full amount what you put in. Is it like that?
Right. So there are certain bank accounts which have got that sweep-in account. That means you can have something in your savings account, and if it is in excess, that will be normally moved to your fixed deposit. So that means you will get 3% of your interest in your savings bank, and the unnecessary money that is lying there will be automatically moved to your fixed bank account. So that means you will get around 6% or 7% on that. That's a fixed deposit interest rate. And the remaining will be 3%. So you can use and then draw it whenever there is any necessity as such. So there are certain banks which are having that. Please look into that for that. Recurring deposit. This is also one thing. If you don't have enough money, you can just do some recurring deposit so that you can accumulate that money over a period of time and you can have those emergency funds. And then somebody talked about liquid funds, right? So on the mutual funds, there are various types of funds. One is the safest one is liquid fund and overnight fund. You can keep your money in those accounts as well, liquid funds as well. The idea behind this is you should be in a position to draw at the need when you need, right? So when you need some money, you should be in a position to draw. So if you have cash or savings bank, you can just go and then use your ATM and get that money. And fixed deposit also, online fixed deposit, you can break that and then get the money. The idea behind that is at any point of time, you should be in a position to get the money you deserve. Okay, so we talked about insurance. What are the types of insurance we have?
Health insurance.
Health insurance, life insurance,
term insurance.
Term insurance.
Very good, very good. So, yeah, nice. So this is the very basic thing. Okay, let us talk about life insurance. Life insurance, what are the types of various life insurance that you have?
Plans related to health.
No, not health.
Cashback.
Life insurance.
Life insurance, cashback is there.
Right, endowment plans.
So
you're talking about
endowments,
plans. Yeah.
pension, retirement related plans.
Right.
Then you have
Accident benefits.
Sorry, Lavanya, what is it?
Accident benefits.
Yeah, right. Okay. So there are various life insurance that are there. Okay. But the predominant thing you have to look at is this is insurance, pure insurance. It is not investment. Don't look at you will get a cashback or like endowment policy or ULIP policy or LIC policies and all. What you have to look at is that term insurance is the best life insurance. Okay. So normally what you have to have is 12 to 15 times of your yearly salary. Okay. So if you earn yearly 50 lakhs or 5 lakhs or 50 lakhs, whatever it is, that number 12 to 15 times, just multiply that and have that. Because the life insurance main thing is in case of some casualties, okay, in case something happens to you, your family should not be in a position to suffer. So that means just have 12 to 15 times of your yearly expense in term insurance. Because term insurance, why it is needed is because this is very, very low cost. Okay. If you go for LIC, you have to pay your monthly salary for that premium alone. So just go for term insurance and that should cover your liabilities, expenses, short-term, long-term goals and all. What is that short-term and long-term goal?
Long term, like for education, marriage, for that you save money. That
Right.
is long term. Short term is like, say you're going to meet some nearby expenses for which you're just saving some amount. So
Very good,
that's a
Ramesh.
different.
Nice, nice. Any other thoughts? Okay, good. So let us see. Property insurance. Somebody talked about EMI, housing loan and all. Why it is needed?
In in some point of time, if there is a job loss, so there is any property that we have, that is an EMI. So if you have this insurance, then that particular time the insurance will take care of our property. There is any job loss or health issues for us.
That is one
Property
thing. Another
insurance,
thing.
something. Yeah,
Is it
something happened
regarding
because of
any?
the calamities or
Yeah, that's what I meant.
electricity issues, something.
Correct.
This, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there are various types of insurance, but you have to ensure that what is that you are paying most, because 60 to 70% of people are paying EMI. Okay, they are going for house loan or something, because very few people go for outright purchase. So in case if you are going for EMI, what you need to do here is ensure that your property is covered, because if there is something happens for you as a breadwinner, then what will happen to your family? Just think about that, so that your property is properly insured, so that in case if something happens, that liability will not be lying on your immediate family members. So that's the idea behind this. Add-on policies. So somebody mentioned about accident policies, critical illness policies, and all, right? So those are the add-on policies. So when you are going for a term insurance, this is a low-cost solution. Cover your liabilities, expenses, everything. Have 12 to 15 times of your monthly expense in that, and then ensure that you have an add-on policy also. So critical illness policy, and then accident policy, all these policies are there. Just check about that. Then health insurance. How many of you have your company provided insurance?
Me.
Yes, I do have.
Very good. Many of you will be having, because the companies will be having those as one of the criteria as perks also. Okay. See, this health insurance, what you need to do here is just don't rely on your company only. Okay. Because if company doesn't employ you, the next day you are out of the job. That means your insurance also ceases to exist. Okay. So in that sense, what will happen for you and your family, right? So you have to have your personal separate insurance also along with that. Then take a family cover. Okay, because this is already covered as part of your ATD also. So in case if you are going for 25,000 or 50,000, there is a limit out there that you can also go for insurance claim also. Not insurance claim, but your ATD claim also. So that is pretty much possible. And then important thing is super top up. How much is the cost nowadays in hospitalization now? Because there is a lot of cost that is involved. So you have to ensure that you have a super top up. Anybody knows super top up?
No idea.
No idea.
Fine, I tell you. This is an education session. I'll tell you. Our information session also. Because if you have an insurance policy of 6 lakh rupees, and if the hospital bill comes to 20 lakhs, there are certain cases where it can come also. In that sense, you don't have to pay the remaining 14 lakhs if you go for super top up. That means your base coverage will be 6 lakhs, and you can have a top up coverage of another 20 lakhs also. Super top up is very, very less. So, okay, so the base cost is more, but super top up criteria is very less. So you will be paying very less for that only as a premium. But the good thing is, in case of any issues with respect to health insurance, you will be getting more money. Okay, that means that will cover your hospitalization expenses also. So, for example, your base is 6 lakhs. The next 14 lakhs, this super top up will pay. In case if you go for 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs, and the expenses come to 20 lakhs as such. Any questions so far? We have talked about so many slides, but if you have any questions, we can talk about that. I have a few more slides also, but let me pause for a minute and then we'll talk about that.
Actually, term insurance is very high. We can't get the amount actually. It is not.
Actually, correct. That's a very good point. Okay, so insurance it's not an investment. Okay, investment, there are various policies out there. Okay, your PPF is there, EPF is there, insurance, so your mutual fund is there, everything is there, liquid fund is there. These are all your investment avenues, vehicles. Okay, but insurance is for you in case of any problem for you. Okay, so that is where, like, I mean, we have to differentiate. Okay, so term insurance, when you compare it with endowment policies or ULIP policies, where there is a money back policy out there, it is very, very less. So you have to look at insurance only on that angle. So that's the reason. Okay. So if no more questions, we can go to the next slides. I mean, and there are many possibilities of discussing about that as well. Okay. So goal-based investing, we talked about that sometime back. So this is the thing: short-term goal, long-term goal, and all. Right. So this is where you have to keep yourself engaged. Okay. So if it is less than 5 years, FD, RD, and liquid, and if it is more than 5 years and 7 years, equity and debt. Okay, so this is something you have to take care of. Long-term goals also, if it is more than 7 years, you have to go for equity and a combination of equity and debt, hybrid, multi-cap, index funds as such. Okay. So this is something like, I mean, these are the asset allocation points. And then, okay, so let us put these points. Like, I mean, what are the questions you have if you have to get before married? Like, I mean, what are the questions you have? Some other things are, should you splurge on wedding? Don't do that. It's not necessary. Take some good photographs somewhere, but it's not necessary to splurge on wedding. Financial compatibility, this is more important. Independent or joint account, please ensure that, I mean, you discuss with your spouse before that. Expenses split up, how you split up your expenses. Disclosure of finances, this is also very important because this can lead to some incompatibilities. Ensure that how you disclose your finances as such. And before getting child, education fund, health and life insurance, financial goals, passive income. The income that you get because of investment is passive income. And before getting retired, ensure that you go for a regular or early retirement. Retirement corpus. What is the medical bill you will be getting? Move from risky to safer instruments and investment before retirement. So just go for debt-based investment at that point of time. So with this, I have come to the end. I just have one more minute, I guess. But if you have any questions, we can talk about that also.
Yeah. Hi, Saravanan. Yeah, I have one question. The super top up can be done even the patient in the hospital. I mean, once we see the bill, it's almost 10 lakhs. But can it be done?
Yeah, right. So it has to be done before that. But the good question. Yeah, right. It has to be done before that so that you will be able to avail that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And this is a very important point. Post-retirement, what you have to do. Okay. So, for example, if somebody is working for 30 years, okay, so this will be your monthly expense. And after that, you should have a good corpus so that your corpus will take care of your entire, retirement expenses. So this is what is represented over here. So what you need to do is invest some money earlier so that you will get a good corpus which will suffice your retirement life. The thumb rule is at least 35 to 40 times of your expenses. Have that and you will be good. I think, I'm seeing red. So if there are no more questions, if there are any more questions, we can discuss, or otherwise we can discuss offline also. And I can share this PPT also if you like. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, Saravanan. As soon as this meeting is over, I'm rushing to my auditor to see whether I've done all the things. So, moving on to the story, I would just like to continue with the theme of the day today. So, the gentleman we see on the screen is the person that we were talking about. One second. So this gentleman's name is Charles Finney. He was born in 1931. He lives with his wife in a rented apartment in San Francisco. And the most important words that he said was, I can't think of a more personally rewarding and appropriate use of wealth than to give it away while living. What a noble thought. So just imagine he has given away almost $8 billion. He's just got $2 million with an M for his life, for the rest of his life. And in February 2011, he was a signatory to the Giving Pledge. And who were the other signatories? Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett went on record, said, Finney and Bill Gates are my hero. He should be everyone's hero. With this, I finish my theme of the day. And let's get back to the next session, which is the TT session. Our Toastmaster, our table topics master for the day is Mohan Sundaram. He's an IT professional working in Creatrix campus. He is always finding the best version of himself whenever he gets an opportunity to speak in front of people. I now hand it over to the TT Master to take you through an interesting session. Over to TT Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Hello everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah,
Very good evening.
nice to hear
Good
that.
evening. Good evening.
The purpose of the topic master is to facilitate the table topics where the guest and member will have the opportunity to practice their impromptu speakings. I will introduce the topic and call on the speakers who will be given 2 minutes to speak on the subject. My first question is, how has your perspective on the life changed over the time? How has your perspective on the life changed over the time? Toastmaster Amita.
Hello everyone. So I'm back after a long gap as a TV speaker again. Thank you, TT Master, for giving me such a wonderful topic. So the topic says, does your perspective change over time? My answer to it is yes. Of course, perspective changes as learning happens. All through life, we are going to learn something or the other. In a primary stage, we're going to learn how to go to school without the help of our parents. In the middle school age, we are going to learn how to cope up with our varied set of friends. And in high school, we are going to learn about how to clear exams. In college, we are going to learn about how we are going to set forth our career. So in each stage of our lives, our perspective is going to change. Back then, our perspective of life was simple. It was just go to school, come back, smile, laugh, and sleep. And now, right now, as a college student, we have pressure as to how to set forth our career, how to do well in life. And since our HOD keeps insisting on us, we are even looking at life in such a way on how to build our resume. So, perspective in life right now, what we know is life is not a better process. But all we can do is try our best and make it easier for us to enjoy right now and also to enjoy in our future. So perspective in life is also very, very changing, like the topic says, because everybody have different perspectives, right? It's not just about life. It's about how we see it also. There can be one impromptu session where one feels really nervous to go to, and there can be another person whose perspective upon table topics is to how to give their best. It's energetic for them. So that's all I've got to say about this topic. Thank you for this wonderful topic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita, for your comment on the table topics. My next question is, if you had unlimited money to start your own business, what would it be? If you had unlimited money to start your own business, what it would be? Toastmaster Gopinath. Toastmaster
Thanks,
Gopinath?
Mohan.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mohan. So unlimited money to start your own business. So if you have unlimited money, for my point of view, I will not start business. I will, start helping all the people. So who is suffering, suffering financially, and the sort of the children's, fighting for their educations because of the financial loss. So if you have unlimited money, I'll start providing the free education to all the children, and I will create a lot of industries through which where I can provide jobs to all the peoples, and with that unlimited money, I can make the place where we live like very rich, and I will provide all the facilities to the people with the free of cost, and also I will be free hospitality and free educations. So whatever we leave, I will provide all the free facilities to all the people. So yeah. So this is what my opinion about if I have unlimited money. Thanks.
Thank you, Gopinath, for your wonderful comment on the table topics. My third question is, what's your favorite story about yourself? What is your favorite story about yourself? Toastmaster Renu Narayanan. Toastmaster Renu Narayanan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I knew
Please
it
go on.
was coming to me, Mohan, because it's all about storytelling, right? Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Today I'm not going to be putting my video on because my connection is very bad. My favorite story about myself would be the time when I was bitten very badly by a dog. I was on my morning walk, and I wasn't expecting anything unexpected that day actually. But when I was passing by one of the houses, the guard had brought out a big dog. It's one of these, it was not a German Shepherd. I think I don't remember the name now. But this dog got loose and just came rushing towards me. And I had no clue what I was supposed to do. At first, I thought he was being friendly, but then I realized that he wasn't. So I turned around so that he couldn't attack me frontally. And then I fell down and he started biting me at the back. And I kept screaming for help, but nobody came to help me. And I remember, despite all that pain, finally when they got the dog off me, I still wanted to continue my walk. That was the extent of my commitment to my morning walk. And then I realized my clothes were torn, I was bleeding, I was in pain. And that's when I started to scream for the owners to come out. And when they did, I told them exactly what had happened and insisted that they take me to the doctor then and there. So I went to Malad Hospital, I got all the treatment done, and of course they had to pay for it. But what I really liked about myself, admire about myself, is the fact that I did not panic. I just got what had to be done, I got it done. My husband wasn't in town. So most emergencies I've learned to handle on my own. So this memory which happened on the December 25th, 2014 will always stay in my memory, because I think that was a great achievement for me, in the sense that I was very brave, I think, and very courageous. And at the same time, I think at the back of my mind, to think about continuing my walk was a kind of commitment I have towards my own health. So thank you, Mohan. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Renu ma'am, for a nice speech on a table topic. And my fourth question is, when does the silence convey the more meaning than words? When does the silence convey the more meanings than words? Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan. Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan, are you there?
Yes, Mohan. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, very clear now.
Silence is the best. First of all, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Silence is the best medicine in many of the occasions when we have a conflict with our any of our friends, or in office or in home. The best medicine or the best technique I have applied in my personal instances is the silence. Whenever anything goes out of our way, we get immediately react to the situation. Instead of reacting to the situation, if we respond, the one response technique is silence. For a moment, just come out of the situation by having a silence observation, and then revisit the situation, whether you wanted to address it, how you want to address it, who has to be blamed, and all those things can be taken it up later. So in the heat of any kind of an argument, I would say the silence is the best way to handle the situation, and it helps more in the current COVID-19 situation. Many people are stressed out and frustrated. So silence would be a best medicine, one who has to practice to master the life skills. Over to Mohan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh Morgan. And my fifth topic is what annually televised sporting event is absolute must see for you? What annually televised sporting event is an absolute must see for you? Toastmaster Lavanya. Toastmaster Lavanya. Toastmaster Lavanya, are you there? Okay, we move on to next speaker. Toastmaster Lakshmi Ramesh. Toastmaster Lakshmi Ramesh.
I don't think she's there, Mohan.
Oh, and we move on to next speaker. Toastmaster Atise.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm there. Could you repeat the topic, please?
Yeah, sure. Actually, your question is what annually televised sporting event is an absolute must see for you? What annually televised sporting event is an absolute must see for you? Toastmaster Atise.
Right. Thank you for that topic topics master. So at the onset of what I'm about to say, I will admit that I'm not a very big sports fan. So if you were expecting an answer like IPL or football, then I'm sorry to disappoint, but that would not be the case. That being said, I do sometimes I watch some particular events, especially if they are hyped up a lot. I'm a fan of cars, so I watch F1 sometimes, and usually it's not on the television. It's usually on YouTube or older videos, so it's not live. But yes, if I were to name just one event, that would be F1. Other than that, I like watching Olympic races, but then again, that's for once in 4 years, so it would not count as annually televised. But yeah, so Olympics and F1 races, that would be mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atise, for a wonderful comment on the topic. And my next question is, what is one of the worst bad habit that the people do in the public? What is one of the best bad habit that the people do in the public? Toastmaster Tejas. Toastmaster Tejas, are you there?
I don't see him, Mohan.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
think he's there.
Toastmaster Perisami.
Yeah, yeah, Mohan, I'm here.
Your topic is, what is one of the worst habit that the people do in the public? What is one of
Yeah,
the worst
thank you.
bad habit
Yeah,
in the public?
yeah, thank you, table topic master. Yeah, good evening, fellow Toastmaster and welcome guest. Thanks for the good topic. So I feel that one of the worst habit people do in the public is spitting. That's worst, I would say that considering the current situation, COVID situation, spitting everywhere or wherever the places we like to spit, it's not a good habit. Not only in the COVID situation, even in other times also, because some people they will have some it's like low immunity systems, low immune systems. So it's like spitting in public places. It's not a good habit. So even if you want to spit, you should have go to the specified places or something. You have to use that. You have to do that. That would say. Then other thing is the smoking. That also it's a very dangerous one. So it's like smoking in the public places is not good. It's not only affecting the person who smokes. It's affecting the other peoples who are nearby him. So instead of the person smoking, it's affecting less only the people who are very near to the him. It's those people are getting more affected. So I would conclude my speech. It's like spitting in the public places and smoking is the worst habit. Thank you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Perisami. And okay, my next question is actually it's an interesting part. I think each person would be given a one line. They would have to weave a story from it. And and my first line is, it was a dark and stormy night as a light flashed through the window pane. It was a dark and stormy night as a lightning flashed through the window pane. Toastmaster Zakir Hussain.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohan. Thank you to all the audience here. It was a dark and stormy night as lightning was flashed through the window pane. I was sleeping on my bed and I heard a loud noise outside. The noise was too heavy and I thought it was started raining heavily because in the dreams I was in a place where I was sailing in a boat. So this incidents made me to have a fear when I watched outside. It was the day, December 2nd, on 2014. The rain started pouring in and also the river water started entering our colonies. It was the floods of Chennai. And being a ground floor, my flat, I started getting water on my feet and it was rising. It was a horrible day. Then I realized the rainwater cannot enter the house. The water was entering to my house from the washrooms. Then we decided we need to escape this terrible event, and it was. Then we decided, we took everything which is very much things which we can carry. We get into our car. Then we started moving towards a place where my brother lives. Then we started asking the neighbors what happened. By the neighbors, the first floor neighbor started telling the water has come up to the knee level in the ground floor. Wow, really we escaped. I never thought this would have happened. And that day, after the second, third, and fourth, the water started receding. And I entered my house after 24th day. It was 25th December, that is was a Christmas day. We got a new house. That means the house was repainted and we got new furniture, new things, everything. It was an horrible day. And I want to tell that it was a human error, not a nature's error. It was mismanaged by the administration of or the government of Tamil Nadu, where they unleashed 40,000 cusecs of water, that too on the southern part of the Chennai, where we and many people lost lives, livelihoods, and lot many things. So this started come to my mind when I see your line of telling when the window pane started getting a flashing and the lightning was there. And this was the biggest thing I think in my career. I got it. Thank you, Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zakir, for your nice comment. And my second question is, the police arrived and asked everyone to. The police arrived and asked everyone to. Toastmaster Praveen Kumar. Toastmaster Praveen Kumar, are you there?
Hi. Yeah, yeah. So, sorry, before I start, do I have to develop a story from this one?
Yes.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. The police arrived. Can you show me the screen, sir, once? I'm sorry.
The police arrived and asked everyone to.
Okay, thanks. See, there are regulations and controls that are there everywhere. So, the police are the people who will try to regulate the rules and regulations that are framed by the government to certainly act from our public side. So, any public breaches regarding the rules or the regulations that are set, police are the people or the cops are the people who will come and remediate it. So they will arrive to the places like accident. If any accident is there, they'll come and arrive to that place and they will remediate it. So that is how the activities of a cop is just that. So having said that, the rules and regulations controller is said to be termed as cops. So if there was an accident actually happened last week, so police are the people who will be first called to rescue the patient, also the to file a case against the person who caused the accident. So anyway, police are the people who will be helping the government to adhere to the rules and regulations. So over to you, table topic master. It was a wonderful minute given.
Thank you, Toastmaster Praveen.
Thanks.
And the third question is, fearing for my own safety, I told the police, but I couldn't have done it because I. Fearing for my own safety, I told the police, I couldn't have done it because I. Toastmaster Karthikeyan.
Can you show that words? Actually, I could not see that PPT.
You could not see the PPT.
We are only able to see the second slide.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No,
okay, I tell you by words. Okay.
Yeah, receipt now we are able to see.
Fearing for my own safety, I told the police, I couldn't have done it because I. Fearing for my own safety,
Yeah,
I told the police, I couldn't have done it because I. Toastmaster Karthikeyan.
Good evening, Toastmaster and a fellow guest. Hi, Moran. Actually, fearing to my safety, I told the police I could not have done it because. Okay, actually, I same feeling I met the last 2 years back. Actually, I went to the cinema theater. It is the first time I went to the new theater in Chennai Mall. Actually, me and my family, everyone already booked. And that time very rush. Actually, we got the book from the online. We got every police or everything rush. But we have eagerly to see the picture actually. So me and my wife and get everybody and the relation or some came to my relation in Chennai. Everybody is watching the J film. Actually, I'm J fan, so that I'm in front of the theater. Police came. He is not asking to everyone who is that what is called it is a line or that he is not asking the police. Police is continuously words are giving, don't go out, everybody. Already I told like so many times, I booked it, I have the ticket, I have the seat, everything is there. So please go on, sit there, it will separate queue. So this, I'm going standing there, same police came here. It is a very huge place, you don't stand there, please go move on to other place. What time you have to timing, you can come at that time also. So I came before 30 minutes, that is a small happen actually. I checked that ticket and everything is okay, but the police not accepted. What time you have, however, the same time you can be there in cinema theater. So that's the main reason I lesson learned in the Satya Mall actually. I finished watching that movie in Satya Mall. I returned back. So many rushes there. I'm not moved to the car parking to went normal road and same police what and before 3 hours before what I saw the policeman and the inspector or all the securities, everybody is standing on the same line, same public crowd also very huge. I saw that at the time I followed that only for what time we have mentioned, what the slot we have to follow on that before 10 minutes or 5 minutes. That is thanks Mr. Mohan, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. And my final speaker is, you can't say it, but you know it's true. You can't say it, but you know it's true. Toastmaster Venkatesan.
Thank you, Table Topic Master Morgan. You can't say it, but you know it is true. Friday, from another team leader, I got a call. I received a call. She told me that Venkat, one sad news, Net4 India Limited domain register has been liquidated as per the Delhi Supreme Court. Just now, I got the order. What you are going to do, what you are going to inform our clients. We have more than 2,000 domain names and we have hosted so many websites. I said, don't worry, I will take care of that. At 7:45, she called me. Thursday night, she got a message. Friday morning, 7:40, she called me. I said that no problem. I will take care of it. Immediately, I have contacted to Nixie, that legal manager and the technical person, and I have informed them we have more than 2,000 domain names. It should be saved because I cannot answer to my big corporates. So they said that don't worry, sir. Net for India is an Indian domain registrar. It is under the control of Nixie. That is why we will take care of it. We will transfer the entire domain name to the next domain registrar as you like, either GoDaddy or something else. We can do it. The nostalgia movement is. I never thought that Net for India will be liquidated. Was liquidated in 2010. They have conducted one survey through with the help of Microsoft because we have purchased a lot of SSLs, security certificates from Netpower only through Microsoft. They have conducted one survey in 2010. More than 2,000 domain names have been registered and hosted in the website for a good reason. And they have selected me, but they never informed me in advance. In Taj Kanimara, in 2010, November 27th, there was a meeting. They invited me. At 5 o'clock also, they said that, sir, please attend the meeting. I said, okay, no problem, I'll attend the meeting. At the end of the meeting, 9:30 or 9:45, Microsoft chairperson and this Net for India person gave me one cup, one award, and one certificate. They have selected me the best person to conduct. They conduct according to their online survey. The domain has been registered. Have been registered for the clients, posted, and it is working fine because of that SSL certificate. I never forget the nostalgia moment. But you know that in life, everything will happen. You cannot expect that. The same Net for India company has been liquidated on Friday. Thank you for the nice topic, Table Talk Master Morgan.
Thank you, Venkatesan, for your nice comment on that. Any volunteers? There is still one topic left. Okay.
Yeah, I can try. I can try.
Can I get your name? Sorry.
Ramesh.
Yeah. And your question is, the police then stepped forward and announced to the guest with a big smile on his face. The policeman then stepped forward and announced to the guest with a big smile on his face. Toastmaster Ramesh.
Very good afternoon to you all. My topic is the policeman then stepped forward and was smiling at the guest. Then the function was happening about road safety. So policemen and traffic policemen had conducted this drill in schools. Some people got chapped, what is it? Then they came to know, okay, it's a road safety, which is very important because many people don't follow this road safety at all, especially when the old people are crossing or even senior people are crossing. People have not having that awareness. So they have conducted this drill in a more prominent school so that the kids will learn, the younger generation will learn how to respect traffic rules, because there are some people who doesn't follow traffic rule, like here in India especially. They like, actually green signal is only meant to go, like after seeing the green signal only are meant to go, but people are like, when they see yellow signal they see left and right, then they go red signal, they won't see the red signal itself, they'll go like that only. So this has to stop. So they have started this drill for the younger generation, like kids and school, so that they will follow it very well. And the policeman was very happy to announce his guest, because his guest was very prominent and very well known to the, not only to that area, to the whole society. So they were very happy to announce, and the guest also told some suggestions that, see kids, you have to follow this traffic rules, and you should also take some awareness, or take some drills, or take some projects and help others. So this was the incident which I would recall. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh. And with this moment, my TT session is over, and I hand over the session back to TM Modi.
Thank you very much, TM Mohan. That was a very interesting session. I enjoyed every bit of it. Now I hand over the control to General Evaluator to conduct the evaluation session as well as to get the fact reports. Team Rohit.
Thank you, Team Modi. Yeah, I'm back. Now coming on to the evaluation session, this can be another interesting session where we get to know what where the speeches are being evaluated by a very very experienced evaluators. So we'll get to see what are the positives we can take from the speeches and what are the feedback and the improvement points that be given to the speakers. So coming on to the first evaluator, we have our evaluator Toastmaster Vijay Rajan. He will be okay. He'll be evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Ramesh Rajendra. Toastmaster Vijay Rajan, he's a certified corporate trainer by profession and an avid practitioner of Silambam, a native traditional martial art. So can I have Toastmaster Vijay Rajan to give the evaluation of Toastmaster Ramesh's speech?
Yeah, thank you, G. I hope all can hear my voice.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate Toastmaster Ramesh for completing his icebreaker speech. So that was a flawless speech which he has given. So considering the fact that this is his first speech. So the things which I liked about his speech is he started with a quote. So starting with a quote or starting with a question will make awareness to the audience and will make them to look forward to that speech. So that was good. And he narrated about his story, about the different phases of life, where he started in Bahrain and to the boarding school and back to Chennai, and where he cleared his CA intern. So that flow was good. So I was able to clearly follow that flow. And the most important thing I liked about the speech is the analogy he used. So that 400-meter race, which he said, the teacher gave him the determination to complete the race. The same thing he has used that analogy when he said he had completed his CA intern. So that was good. And the other thing I liked is the facial expressions which he gave when he was explaining about the boarding school experience. So that subtle facial expressions are very good. And since it is icebreaker speech, so I just want to give only one suggestion now on the speech. So the only one suggestion would be, though you started with a quote, towards the end also you've used at least 3 quotes, I guess. So towards the end, your speech became more preachy. So it was like becoming a more motivational kind of speech rather than an icebreaker speech. So since you have used more quotes at the end, so that I could have reduced it. So other than that, overall it was a good speech. I am looking forward for your other speeches as well. Over to G.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Rajan. Looks like you are seated in your training room. All right. Next we'll go on to our next evaluator, that is Toastmaster Pranav. Toastmaster Pranav he's an engineer by qualification, and currently he's working as a marketing executive within a multinational company. So if you look at Toastmaster Pranav, he always has a ready-made smile on his face, ever ready smile on his face. So when he takes a responsibility, he ensures that it is done it is followed to the T, and it is delivered very meticulously. So we'll have Toastmaster Pranav evaluating the speech of Toastmaster Pavitra.
Thank you, G. Guys, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot. So this was typically a speech where after it got over, I think most of us were like either drawing our handkerchiefs out or wiping our eyes, or those who switched off their cameras were like, obviously, at least shedding a tear. That was a beautiful, emotional, yet a very motivational and inspiring story that Toastmaster Pavitra just delivered. Now, her project objective was to apply the feedback from her previous speech. Now, what was the feedback was, there was not much of emotion and much of gestures and vocal variety. So let's see whether she actually met all those. Now coming to the story, so she started very well asking a question. Guys, asking a question is a very nice way of starting your speech. Now, immediately when she asked how many of you have been through grief, all of us kind of gave a thumbs up, or we started to get involved in her story. That was good. And coming to the story of Tony and Lisa, the way she narrated the sad parts where Lisa gets cancer, where Tony loses her later, all those were narrated with very good vocal variety. Her tone was low, it sounded very sad, and we could, actually connect with her. The positives where she scored in the speech were, her clarity was good throughout, as always. She had good eye contact with the camera, which I noticed when she was delivering her speech. It did not go up and down. The audience awareness and the comfort level with us was always there. We were always, looking forward and, wanted to hear what's going on next. What's Tony going to do next? I was very excited when that dating lady came, and I was really excited. Jokes apart, her voice tone was very low, like I mentioned earlier. So that is the feedback that she applied from the previous speech. And the ending, guys, what an ending that was. Choosing life over death. Now, I think this speech should have been for a broader audience of many age groups, because so many people foolishly take their lives, even over small things, whether you fail an exam, whether you don't get into IIT or anything else, you take your lives. That is really foolish, guys. Make your life worthwhile. There is so much to enjoy. I think this is a fantastic message you delivered, Toastmaster Pavitra. The recommendation I had was the gestures. Maybe during those tough times which Tony went through when he lost his wife, when he was clueless, did not know what to do. I think during those times she could have used a bit of hand movement and kind of dramatize the events a bit. I think that's the only area where she could improve from her last speech. And emotions wise, she was good, but maybe a slightly more emotional touch would have made it better. But all in all, it was a wonderful story. You touched the hearts of all Medlians today. Thank you, and over to you, G. Rohit.
Thank you, Pranav. A good set of suggestions provided to Pavitra. Next, we'll go on to our next evaluator, that is Toastmaster Surya. Toastmaster Surya, to introduce Toastmaster Surya, he's a HR professional. He is currently working for a manufacturing firm. Toastmaster Surya is a very active member who is always ready to put his hands up whenever the need arises. So, of course, of late he is also trying his hand at being a humorist. So, can we have Toastmaster Surya to evaluate Toastmaster Shankar's speech?
Yes. Is my voice audible?
Yeah.
Thank you for that nice introduction, Toastmaster Rohit. I would like to first of all congratulate Toastmaster Shankar for completing his project in level 3. This project is based on a story, basically. A speaker has to convey a story, convey a message through story, or tell a complete story that is by himself, like his story or anyone else's. Okay. So any good story, in my point of view, I thought should have 3 main points. One is the purpose of sharing that story. Second thing is that tone and body language. And third one is the vivid description that a speaker gives. So I, in my point of view, felt that Shankar, you really had all these 3 aspects in your speeches. So there was purpose at the end of the story that you had shared, which you said the listeners not to be a frog inside a well. Eat that frog, come out of that comfort zone. Don't feel bad about the past, right? So that was perfect. And second thing, tone and body language. You brought a great sense of humor using your body language and also your voice varieties, the vocal varieties. Believe me, when I was listening to your speech at the ninth over, to my eyes, you were literally looking like a Piyush Chawla bowling to, Sanju Samson. If you would have watched the IPL cricket match, so that's the sense of humor that you brought in. So during your speech, I liked the most about it. And the project objective says that you met the project objective so well, as the project objective says. You should either share a main points connecting to the story, or it should also be a complete story. So in that case, you met that completely, the project objectives. On a whole, in my perspective, I felt it was a perfect speech with superb humor, and you had excelled yourself in humor, body language, and you have proved yourself that you are a good, excellent storyteller. Now coming to the recommendations. So I have a couple of recommendations for you. So recommendation number one, during your speech at the middle of, after your ninth over, I saw you were trying to explain a humor connecting to a movie, right? You said, I stood like this, and it was like Premji standing in Chennai 28. So I felt that could have been avoided. Why? Because you could have brought that humor by yourself instead of saying connecting that to another movie. Because people, when it comes to humor, I feel that logic, you should not think much about logic. You could have simply just said, after bowling that last over, I had my hands like Premji. That's it. People would have connected. You need not have to say that you were looking like I was looking like Premji in Chennai 28. So that's one thing. Second thing, couple of places I saw you had some short pauses. So I also thought you were like slightly stumbled a bit. That could have been avoided by practice. So with these two recommendations, I would like to sum up my evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Rohit.
Thank you, Toastmasters Surya. So that was a very comprehensive feedback for Toastmaster Shankar. Now moving on to our last evaluator for today, that is Toastmaster Dinesh. Toastmaster Dinesh, again, he works for a real estate firm here in Chennai, and again a very resourceful and active member at Bentley's. He's always ready to lend a helping hand wherever required, and that is because of his versatility. And that is, being versatile, it is a that is a very, very useful skill to have. So can I have Toastmaster Dinesh to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Saravanan?
Thank you, General Evaluator Rohit, for the very warm welcome. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Saravanan had a brilliant topic in his sleep. He spoke about the power of investing and how we fail in investing even after we have passed 16 years in college. Just now, I finished reading this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. This has sold more than 1 million copies. It's a very famous book. And today, if Toastmaster Saravanan's video was uploaded on YouTube, it would receive that equal amount of views, I assure you. Now let us look at the positives of Toastmaster Saravanan's speech. The first is, he opened his speech with a question, how many of you are salaried? This created a spark in everyone's mind. He created interreliability with everyone, and he also associated it with the questions asked by the TMOD with regard to how many people are salaried among the 800 crore people worldwide. The second, it was a well-researched topic, and as his title suggests, he was very well prepared for his topic because it was a very elaborate speech which he needed to speak about. He needed to speak 20 minutes, and he had and he had all the 7 points up to it, from emergency fund to life insurance, debt-free, and all types of investment strategies. He thoroughly researched upon it, and he wanted to speak about it. So kudos to Toastmaster Saravanan again for this topic. And the third and the most brilliant thing I liked about is the transition. Because he has to speak for such a long time, he has to make sure that what he speaks next has to have an interpretation of what he speaks before. For example, when he was pitching for the speech, you have to listen to it. It's a brilliant speech and it's going to be good. And then he asks, and then he says, so many million people have lost jobs during Corona. And when he asks this question, and then he goes upon why we need to be invest wisely, and a job is not secure enough. And then he says the 7 points. So even though he wants to say these 7 points in the beginning, he doesn't take it right at the start. He wants to create a clear transition. It was like watching a Shankar movie from one scene to another. There was a clear transition from there. And finally, Toastmaster Saravanan had brilliant vocal variety. When he, and particularly in this instant where he said that 11 million people have lost their jobs due to this corona, he insisted upon it. Thereby, it created an impact on the minds of the people that this is something which is very important, and the speaker is going to talk something very relevant about it. And also, when he mentioned about the top-up plan insurance, he specified it many times, like top-up plan. So he wanted to make sure that this was something which was very good kind of an investment and insurance which everyone can take upon. There is one recommendation that I would like to give to Toastmaster Saravanan. In speech evaluation, there are questions which needed to be asked at the end of his presentation, but due to the paucity of time, questions couldn't be asked. I know that Toastmaster Saravanan asked questions in his first 3 or 4 slides, but I feel that he asked too many questions at the beginning, so he didn't have the time necessary to ask questions at the end. But maybe he could have allocated time in a better manner and to all the slides. Overall, it was a brilliant speech, Toastmaster Saravanan, and I'm looking forward to your next speech based on investing as well. Thank you, and over to you, G.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. So now coming. Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, you're audible. Sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now coming on to the final session. Okay, now we have just completed the evaluation section. Now moving on to the next last session, that is going to be the report. Can we have the tag report? So can we have Toastmaster Sampath to provide the timers report?
Yes, Toastmaster Rohit, thank you. Can I share the screen?
Yes, please.
Can you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. For the prepared speakers, all the speakers are qualified. So speaker 1, TM Ramesh is 5 minutes 13 seconds. TM Pavitra 6 minutes 6 seconds. TM Shankar 7 minutes 3 seconds. TM Saravanan 20 minutes 10 seconds. For the table topic speakers, except Toastmaster Zahir Hussain, he took 2 minutes 40 seconds. I believe is disqualified for this. Then all others are already qualified. For the evaluator speeches, yes, all are qualified. I'm sorry, TM Surya, he took 3 minutes 46 seconds. I think he's also not qualified. So all other three, TM Vijayarajan, TM Pranav, TM Dinesh, all are qualified. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Sampath. Now, can we have Toastmaster Sharanya to provide us with the counters report?
Sure. Okay. So, are you all able to see my screen?
Yes.
So today we had a lot of clear speeches. So moving on with the speakers, Toastmaster Ramesh Rajendran has one pause. Toastmaster Pavitra, she had a clear speech. Shankar, there was a small pause in between. Saravanan, it was a clear speech. Moving on to the TP session, Toastmaster Amita, it was a clear speech. Toastmaster Gopinath had like 2 hours. Toastmaster Renu Narayanan, clear speech. Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan, clear speech. Toastmaster Atishay, clear speech. Toastmaster Periyasamy had like 2 likes and was repeated several times. Toastmaster Zahir Hussain, it was a clear speech. Guest Praveen Kumar, they were like 2 and 1 hour. Toastmaster Karthikeyan, there were like 3+ hours and 2 shows. Toastmaster Venkateshan, it was a clear speech. And Toastmaster Ramesh Rajendran, it was a clear speech. Moving on to the evaluator session. So Toastmaster Vijay Rajan, Pranav, Surya, Dinesh all had clear speeches. So this is the overall report. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Okay. Thank you, Shania. Now, can we have Toastmaster Shruti to give us the grammarians report?
Shall I share my screen? Are you able to share my screen? See my screen right now? Share it.
Yes,
Yeah,
visible,
it's showed up.
visible.
I think Medley has taken a silent undertaking of ensuring that I don't really have to study for my IELTS exams, because the words that were used were so ahead, and I don't really need to refer to anything else. Speaker Ramesh, he had used the word tremendous, enhancer. Speaker Pavitra, her speech, I had a field day with her speech. She used tragedy, empathize, down the dumps, numb his pain, investigate, diagnose, persona, devastated, loses it, optimism, come to terms, gratitude. She was also the only speaker to use the word of the day, chef. Shankar Govindaraj used the word humiliation. I think he mispronounced the word persuaded. At least I heard it as pursued. It puts a different meaning. Toastmaster Saronan, again, a field day with his speech, paycheck to paycheck, livelihood, dependence, perspective, credibility, first and foremost, predominantly liabilities, breadwinner, compatible. In table topic speakers, Toastmaster Amita had used words like pop-up and impromptu. I'll just share the screen. Have a look at it. In the Toastmasters, in table topic session, Ramesh Rajendran was also used the word chafe in.
Actually, I have, sorry for interruption. Actually, I have used it even in the prepared speech.
I see. I think I heard it wrong. I'm sorry.
Oh, no issues, no issues. Just
Okay. Now, coming to the suggestions part of it, we had a lot of inaccurate usages of words. To give a quote, we can shorten it to quote, broke a rule, broke the rules, has assembled, it's had assembled. The list goes on and on actually. I think majority of the errors that we used were like avoiding like word before everything or after everything. They maybe count as a filler word, but we can use other words such as, for example, dancing like anything. I think you could use getting your dance shoes on, smoking like anything, no, continued smoking, and some words we needed changes in prepositions and articles. We need to keep a lookout on the articles, prepositions that accompany certain words. For example, an horrible, it would become a horrible, because again, one of the most common grammatical mistakes that commonly occurred was maintaining the tense of the speech. You can keep maintaining it throughout the speech, or at least maintain it to a particular paragraph. It shows that you can, it reduces your errors. But that's about it. But again, I had a field day today. Over to you, General Topics Master. General Evaluator, sorry.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Shruti. So that was an extensive grammarians report. Thank you. Now coming on to the general evaluation for today's meeting. Let me begin. Primarily, all the role players had logged in well ahead of time, and the initial sanctity system tests were conducted. So everything was working as required. But we did start 2 minutes late, which is very unusual. I think this can be avoided going forward. The president, the guests were welcomed as usual by the president, and which is always a very feel-good factor. And coming on to the prepared topics. They were good. There was a good mix of speech topics ranging from personal stories and sports and finance. That was very educative. Then coming on to the table topic session, there were very Toastmasters today had very interesting topics, and speakers were equally good and adept at handling the topics they were asked to speak on. And coming on to the evaluation, the evaluators had very positive reviews and recommendations for their target speakers. Not just for the target speakers, I think for other members also. There was some learning from all these suggestions that was provided by the evaluators today. Throughout the meeting, there were no technical glitches faced by the role players and speakers. So I hope this trend continues where the speakers and the role players do not face too much of technical glitches. So today it was more of a glitch-free session, glitch-free meeting. And but there was one issue. I request the speakers to go on mute whenever they are not speaking, because on and off we always heard some background noise when the speakers were not active in the meeting. So this is it from the general evaluations desk, and can we have a go back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rangarajan.
Thank you so much, Rohit. It was wonderfully conducted. The meeting was fabulous. The speakers, G, and both his teams did an excellent job and made my job very easy. Please take a moment to vote for the best speaker, evaluators, and role players of the day. And I hand it over to President GTM Thomas T. Brett.
So you are on mute.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so congratulations once again. You had another meeting that respected the audience's time. We had 4 speeches, one of them longer than usual. We are within time. So please take a vote, all of you who took a role in making this another efficient meeting. Couple of quick points. We all know about the strain, the career, financial strain that 2020 has brought. We cannot be blind to it. That is why we wanted to make it as easy as possible for every Medlian to continue to be a Medlian. We made sure that the promised refund of 700 rupees happens. Tomorrow it will happen. We also extended the early bird to virtually a discount. In all, making it a discount of 1,200 for those who are with us for the last 1 year. Because we really want all of you to continue. We've enjoyed each of you. I know some of you have told us why you have to leave, but I know it's temporary. And I can remember each of your speeches over the last many years. Each of you, I can remember. So therefore, we want you back with us when things get better, and things will get better. Do come back. Till then, continue as a guest. You're most welcome. Respected guests you are. So please continue attending our meetings. Point number 2. Point number 3, I must compliment Ramesh for his icebreaker. It was more than breaking the ice. I must compliment you, and I think you have been correctly complimented by your evaluator. 4, may I quickly have a word with the guests who are around? Is guest Tejas around? Or guest Kadir? Or guest Praveen?
Hi, sir.
Yes, Praveen, tell us something about yourself.
First of all, I would like to thank for the opportunity that I'm receiving from Medley Toastmaster Club every Saturday. Even last Saturday I was trying to attend, but I couldn't. But the before Saturday I was attending it, and I'm a member of MTC, sir. I'm a Toastmaster from MTC, Madras Toastmasters Club.
Okay.
Yeah. So I work with HCL so this is one finest platform which I thought about to increase my communication and the pattern of leadership skill which I currently hold. So this is one finest ground where I can practice enough in playing shots to come up with the gaps that I see in my own self. So thank you so much once again, sir. Thank you so much. It was very informative session, and I love to come back again and again, sir.
Sure. Please do. Thank you. And with that, may I seek the vote results, please?
Sir, we haven't received the link, sir. Vote link.
Okay. Is Raghu around?
Just give me a moment, sir. I'm just posting the link.
Yeah.
It's final.
He will.
Yeah, it would be visible, I guess.
Yeah, that was fast work. Thank you. We are still within time, not to worry. Have you all voted?
Yes, sir. I guess.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Abhimanyu, are you the voter?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sending you the results, sir.
Okay, Ji. How are you sending me?
On WhatsApp, sir.
Chat box, is it? Abhimanyu, in chat box you're sending?
No, sir. On WhatsApp, I'm sending.
Okay. Fine, sir. And here are the results as they unravel. The best speaker is Toastmaster Pavitra. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Pranav. The best tag player is Toastmaster Shruti Prakash. The best role player is TMOD Toastmaster Rangarajan. And the best TT speaker is Toastmaster Amita, making a comeback after quite some time after getting bogged down by the exam, I guess. All the best. Congratulations, all of you. All the best. Thank you very much. So I hereby declare closed meeting 570 to 590. And welcome to the chat room. Thank you.
Thank you.